The city that appeared only when you were lost. No map showed the city of Lethrin. I know because I spent 3 weeks looking for it after I escaped. The first time I saw it, I wasn't searching. I was lost. I had been traveling alone through the low mountain passes north of the Amber Coast, following a trade road that should have taken me to Varello by nightfall. Instead, a sudden fog rolled in, thick enough to swallow the road itself. The air grew cold, heavy with the scent of rain and iron. When the fog lifted, the road was gone. In its place stood a city. Tall stone walls rose from the earth as if they had always been there, their surface worn smooth by centuries of wind. Lanterns glowed along the battlements, casting soft golden light. A single gate stood open, welcoming. I remember thinking one thing very clearly: thank the gods. The guards waved me in without question. No names, no tolls, no curiosity about where I came from. Inside, the city was alive. Markets open, people laughing, music drifting through the streets. It felt warm, safe, familiar in a way I couldn't explain. I asked a baker what city I had entered. "Lethrin," she said, like it was obvious. "You look exhausted. You should rest." Everyone said that. At the inn, I slept deeper than I had in months. No dreams, no nightmares, just darkness and warmth. When I woke, my pack was neatly placed by the door, cleaned and repaired. My boots were polished. A fresh loaf of bread waited on the table. I stayed another day, then another. Something was wrong by the fourth morning. The sun rose and set, but it never moved across the sky. Always the same golden angle, always the same length of day. And no matter how far I walked, I never reached the city's edge. Streets looped gently back into familiar squares. Landmarks repeated in subtle ways. The same fountain, the same statue, worn identically. The people, too, began to feel wrong. They were kind. Too kind. Always smiling. Always encouraging me to stay. When I asked about leaving, they gave vague answers. The fog will guide you when you're ready. Leaving isn't something to rush. Most who arrive are tired. That night, I heard crying. It came from beneath the city. I followed the sound to an old stairwell hidden behind a chapel. The door was unlocked. The air below was cold and damp, thick with despair. As I descended, the crying turned to whispers, dozens of voices murmuring the same phrase. I remember the road. The chamber beneath the city was enormous, carved from stone older than any building above it. And there, lining the walls, were people, hundreds of them. They sat or stood frozen in place, their eyes open, their bodies alive, but unmoving. Stone had begun creeping up their limbs, slowly encasing them. Some had stone fingers, others stone legs. One man's face was half marble, tears frozen mid-fall. A woman near the center still had her voice. "Don't sleep again," she whispered when she saw me. "That's how it starts." She told me the truth. Lethrin was not a city. It was a refuge created centuries ago by powerful mages who feared the collapse of the world beyond their walls. They bound the city to those who were lost, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Anyone who wandered without direction could find it. But the spell had a cost. Lethrin sustained itself by keeping people. The longer you stayed, the more you belonged. The more you belonged, the less you remembered wanting to leave. Eventually, you became part of the city itself. Another stone, another smile, another voice urging newcomers to rest. I ran. The guards did not stop me. The gates were still open. The fog waited patiently beyond them. I almost made it through. But the city pulled back, streets shifted, walls stretched, doors appeared where there had been none. And in the center of it all, the city spoke. Not with a voice, but with a feeling. "You are safe here." I fought it. I held on to memories. My name, my past, the road I had been walking. I tore my way through the fog until my lungs burned. When I stumbled back onto the trade road, the fog vanished behind me. The city was gone. I reached Varello 2 days later and told my story. Scholars laughed. Priests offered blessings. Cartographers showed me maps with nothing where I described. Years passed. I thought I had escaped. Then, on a quiet evening, I noticed something. My reflection in the mirror lingered half a second too long when I turned away. Some nights, I dream of warm lantern light and familiar streets, of people smiling, telling me to rest. And sometimes, when I walk alone and lose my way, even briefly, I smell rain, iron, and stone. I know that if I ever stop moving, Lethrin will be waiting,